So I think we're going to begin. I know there's a lot of people coming home from work, and it is the first Monday of the year. Can you believe it? I know so many people are getting back to work, and this was maybe a rough re-entry. Maybe you were excited. I don't know. I was pretty excited about today just because we're going to talk about all about manifesting everything that you want in 2015. So like I said before we start, anybody that just jumped on, make sure that you grab your pen and your paper because you're going to want to write this all down. So while people are jumping on, I'm just going to go over a few things. Tomorrow is actually the last day for the early bird of the Bliss Project. So if you guys don't know about the Bliss Project, you can go to theblissproject.info, and it's actually my favorite weekend of the entire year. And it's pretty much what we are gearing up for right now, what we are working towards. It is a 3 days of empowerment, of yoga, of meditation, of really empowering transformational speakers. And this year, truly, we are bringing all of our best information, our best stuff to you because we want to share it. We want to empower you. We want you to get to your goals because the stronger that we make everybody around us, the stronger we are together, the more that we can reach those goals together. So that early bird pricing ends tomorrow, and I don't want you to miss it because I know last year there were a lot of people who said, oh my God, I can't believe I missed out. So I want to make sure that I get to you guys because this is a really, really beautiful event. It is for all levels, all types of people, and really I hope to meet you there. So one other thing that we're going to talk about, I also have a Sexy and 60 New Year challenge going on right now. One of my favorite things because you know that I love to work out. I didn't really used to love to work out, but I love what it does for me. And now I also enjoy the process. So that challenge, you can sign up through the 15th of the month. We have hundreds and hundreds of women. We've had thousands through the years. I run them every 3 months. It's been 5 years now. So it's really a part of my life that I absolutely love and a group that I tune into every day. So if that's something that you would want to do, it's so much more than a workout. It is mind, body, spirit, book clubs, Facebook groups, support, and so many other things. So I would love to see you either at the Bliss Project or in the Sexy and 60 Challenge. So before we get started, once again, I know a bunch of people just logged on. So grab your pen and your paper and your tea and your water and whatever else you need. I hope that you are in your comfy clothes because I'm going to tell you, one of my favorite things about webinars is that I only have to get ready from here up. I'm actually in my sweatpants, and that really rocks right now. So I hope all of you guys are cozy and ready to get started with me. So like I said, it's the first Monday of the year. How does that feel? It feels good, right? Even if you don't do like the big New Year's resolution thing, there's still this flip of the calendar, and it feels fresh, and it feels good, and it feels like energy. And this year, we're going to talk about getting more by focusing really clearly and powerfully on less. Doesn't that sound good? So we have to say no to the things that are no longer serving us to make room for the things that our soul is pulling us to do. So we can't have more time in a day, but we can create more time in our day, right? Our time is not going to appear, but somehow we have to figure out how we're going to get more time in our day for all of these grand goals that we have set, because we know right now, as of right now, they're probably not squeezing in very well because in our culture, we take a plate and we fill it, no matter what size plate that is. You give me a bigger plate, we're going to fill it, right? And that goes for many different things. So this is going to be tough for some people to hear, but you're going to have to hear it and you're going to have to take it to heart. You have to be selfish enough to align with your goals, because without it, you have nothing left to give. You're going to be tired. You're going to lack energy. You're not going to feel fulfilled. You're not going to be fulfilling your highest purpose to yourself or for your family. I went to a Danielle Laporte book writing event because I am in the process of writing a book, and that also goes back to trying to find more time in my day. Where's it going to come from? I had to get rid of some things. And something she said there just really, really hit home for me. And she said, you know, you're doing it right when not everybody likes you, when not everybody likes your choices. And that really hit me because I like people to like me. And I am a people pleaser. And I know that so many people are. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing that we want to give so much and do so much, but it also leaves us completely depleted, and it doesn't allow us to really let our true authentic self come out and have let us fulfill our true purpose, because we need that time to work on ourselves in order to let that true light shine and feel good enough to do that. So we live in a more culture. So what I mean by that is people will keep on asking you for more. There'll be more hours at work. There's going to be more that your family needs help with. There's going to be more that your kid's school needs help with. There's going to be more that your community needs help with. It's just so much more. And the thing is that people will keep asking you until you have nothing left. We have to learn to flex our no muscle, because it is a muscle. It's something that as you do it, it gets easier and you get better at it. So for yes people, truly the continuation of saying yes is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more we say yes, what are we known as? We're known to everybody else as a yes person. So we're the easiest person to ask. I know if somebody's really reliable in my life that they're going to be one of the first people that I'm going to go to, because they always say yes. So the phone's always going to ring. The house is always going to be messy. The kids are always going to want you. Your husband's always going to need you. You'll always have errands, and you're always going to have the never-ending to-do list, which we're going to talk about later. So what you're going to lose, though, if you keep saying yes, I really want you to think about this, because I know that a lot of you are in a place of yes right now. And you have to figure out what yeses are most important, because what's going to happen is when we say yes to everybody else, we say no to ourselves. So we are going to lose our health, our purpose, our hope, our meaning, our energy, our happiness. For me, I lose my creativity immediately. You're going to lose your connections. You're going to lose your connectedness with God, with Holy Spirit, whatever you believe in, your self-love, your self-respect, because you're just exhausted. So, love truly is a verb, and it is all earned. So when we think of somebody earning our love, they have to do what? They have to treat us in a loving way in order for us to love them. So what makes us think that we can completely talk to ourselves like crap, be super mean to ourselves, and never ever put ourselves first, not taking care of our health, not exercising, not sleeping enough? Those are things that absolutely do not love us back. So it's about making sure that we know love is a verb, not only to others, but to ourselves. If we want to be in love with ourselves and our lives, we have to do things for us and our lives to make us love it. Otherwise, it's impossible to feel those feelings. So I want to tell you something that if I was really thinking about this while I was writing up this webinar, and my hand was writing faster than my brain could possibly think, which is a blessing to anyone who knows who's prepping for anything. But I was thinking about if I would not have put myself first for the last few years, really, really, really acknowledging that, what I would have not accomplished, and how many people I would not have been able to help. Because I'm thinking back, for those of you who don't know my story, to when I was younger, and I had a lot of anxiety, and for me to speak in public I would have rather jumped off a cliff than to speak in public, because I just had so much fear and so much anxiety, and I was an overweight kid, and I just really, really struggled with my emotions, and I talked to myself in a horrible way, thinking I could never complete anything. That was literally my mantra, is I never finish anything. So my new mantra is I finish everything. But we'll talk about that later too. But if I did not do that, I wouldn't even be here sitting with you guys. I wouldn't have over 1,000 people on this webinar to be able to sit with. I'm so grateful for all of you, because truly together we're going to accomplish our goals, and we're so much stronger together. But I want you to sit and think about that. All of the people that I look to for mentorship, all of the teachers, everybody that helps pull you out of tough situations, they can't pull you up if they are not strong. They can't teach you if they are not strong. You can't be an example if you are not strong. I hope that you're understanding how important this is, because we feel so much guilt around it. So for all you moms out there, dads, whoever, brothers, mothers, sisters, whoever you are that you feel guilt around it, I want you to really think about your life right now, and just think about what example we're setting when we don't take care of ourselves. And when you don't love yourself, how do you feel? And how do you act? And what are your thoughts like all day when you don't love yourself? I know when I didn't love myself, all I could think about was myself. Isn't that ironic? I literally could not think past how miserable I was and how much pain I was feeling and how much I felt like I got the short end of the stick in my life. In order to be able to give back, I couldn't even begin to start thinking of helping somebody else because all I could think about was me and my world and this bubble that I was in and these lenses that I was looking through. And it was a really negative place in my life. So, what are the reasons behind New Year's overwhelm and the failure rate? Because we are going to get past all of that. That's going to be a thing of the past. So next year, you're not even going to stress about it. You're going to be super excited about it because you already know it's coming. And the thing is that when you know it's coming, you can prep for it way better, and you can really just absolutely have, high hopes for everything because you know exactly what's coming. So what are the reasons behind the overwhelm? Not having a plan. Doing the same thing over and over again, maybe that worked for you once years and years and years ago, and you forgot about how painful it was to get there, but all you can remember is how great the outcome was that maybe didn't last very long. So if it was something that didn't stick around, there might be a reason why you can't get it back in your life, is because maybe it was not a sustainable way of being and living. So we need to really remember the entire way that we got there, because we tend to think about the good stuff and we completely let our memories forget about the bad stuff. So then we can never let go of what we thought we need to do because we got there once. So another thing, keeping everything on your plate from last year and then adding all your goals on top of it. So then you have this mound that you look at and you think, okay, I'm just going to get better. I'm going to be stronger. Well, that's not going to happen, because that's not how goals work, and that's not actually how strength happens. You know how a bow and arrow works is, in order to get a really powerful launch, you've got to pull way back. So sometimes in life we have to pull way back in order to just get all of that power that we need to go and move forward. So the last thing, and this one's really important, is the all or nothing attitude. And this truly is setting us up for failure. And this was so me. I was like either going 125% or nothing at all. I mean, or I was like on the couch with Doritos and bonbons and a bin of ice cream, just crying about the world's situation and my life. So we are going to talk about the all or nothing attitude, because we need to ditch it. And whenever we feel it, we're going to shove it out the door, because it just does not work in 2015 or ever. So the all or nothing attitude stems from a perfectionist or extremist personality or ideas. And I was just reading about this. It's so interesting. It's often found to be the default thought process for people who have anxiety or depression. And I can truly tell you, when I was like reeling with anxiety, it was to a point where I didn't even want to go out in public or be around people, because I just felt so anxious all the time. And to look back at that, it really, it's crazy to think about, but it's great to know how far you can actually come. So is this you? I want you to think, if you're saying these things, do you say things when you set a goal like, I'm never eating crap again, or I'm working out every single day, twice a day, no fail, no matter what, or that's it, I'm enrolling in those courses, I'm going back to college, I'm joining the gym, I'm taking that art class, and I'm becoming a chef. This is my year, I'm doing it all. So sometimes when we have that, it is so great to have those goals, and it's so great to state those things to the universe, but we just want to make sure that we're not having an extremist all or nothing attitude, and that we're not just going so far to the extreme that it's going to wear us right out. So how does this attitude set us up for failure? So going hard 24/7 and having extreme goals is going to deplete you. And this one's really interesting. I was really thinking about this. I was chatting with this about with some friends. When you strip yourself of your old way of rewarding yourself, so when you say, that's it, I'm never going out again, or that's it, I'm never eating that again, but you haven't yet learned a new reward system for your new healthy lifestyle, you're really taking away everything that you used to look forward to. So if you don't set up a system of rewarding yourself for your new goals, you're not only adding so much to your plate that isn't necessarily enjoyable right away. In fact, it's probably so far outside of your comfort zone and painful in the beginning, because we know that's how all good things start, is outside of our comfort zone, that not only that, you're pulling all of what you used to look forward to away. What are you left with? I absolutely am going to ditch everything that I'm doing, because that leaves you really, really alone most of the time. You're really isolated because you haven't yet met that new group of people with those new goals. So a lot of times people with new goals find themselves completely alone and lonely with no joy, nothing to look forward to. We can't even eat our favorite foods. I know you feel the same as me. So if you look at that, it's about creating a new reward system along with those new goals. So another way that this is setting up for failure is it's just overloading us to the point of exhaustion. And we far underestimate the amount of time involved in each task. So as much as we want to change overnight, I think it's important to know it's not going to happen. And that's beautiful, because if we changed overnight, where would the joy in the journey be? And I know you're all like, the joy in the journey, but really life happens in between the gaps. It's lived in between the gaps of our goals. So if you're miserable in between the gaps, you can count on either quitting your goals or being really disgruntled all the time. So this is especially important to all of my goal-oriented people out there. Can I get an amen? All of the people who are already on this mission, they're already making those goals, and they're like, I'm ready, I have all my goals set. It's so important to learn to enjoy the gaps in between, because once we arrive at our goals, guess what happens? Sometimes it's not even a day, you guys. Sometimes we hit that goal and we set a new one within that hour. So we're not even enjoying that time at the destination. So that's another thing. We do need to enjoy that time, but it's more important to enjoy the gaps in between the goals, because the second we hit that destination, guess what happens? Life doesn't just start getting lived there. Like, when I lose that 20 pounds, that's when I'm going to be happy. When I get that business, that's when I'm going to be happy. I want to tell you that when you get, that's just when it begins. And every when you get comes with a set of new things that you get to learn about. And it also, the stronger that we get, the more that we can share. So it is a really beautiful thing, but I'm just going to stress that. Learning to enjoy everyday life, learning to enjoy the journey, learning to enjoy the gaps in between, because the gaps are where life is lived. So it's important because we naturally expand, right? This is how we naturally grow. And if we didn't always do that, we wouldn't be growing. And life is all about, we're going to be learning till the day that we die. And that's why this life is beautiful, is because we're so blessed to never know it all. And if we did, I can imagine that wouldn't be very much fun. So first, how do we make sure that we set reasonable goals that are in alignment with our highest purpose? This is such a good question, because this took me a really long time to figure out, and I still am taking time every single day to figure this out, because life really pulls you in so many different directions. And there's always different things that can sometimes look like a great goal, but maybe in the long run, they're not as shiny as they initially looked. And, we have to keep on analyzing how it's going to fit within our lives. And we have to keep on analyzing if it's truly best for our highest purpose, for our family, for where we're going, for whatever that is. So starting right now, and this is how we figure it out, starting right now, your only job is to feel good. So literally, we just need to focus on, sounds too easy, doesn't it? We just need to focus on how we feel in each moment, because how we feel is a perfect guide for us to follow. It's absolutely the perfect guide for us to follow when we really figure out where our feelings are coming from and what they are. And I don't mean the temporary good, like I'm sitting around eating that large pizza type of good where it only lasts a few minutes and then it really, really pushes you further towards your goal, or the type of good where you have a lot of problems in your life and you deal with them by going to happy hour, and that seems really fun, but you come home really, really sad. So it wasn't such a happy hour. The real things that make you truly happy and make you feel love. They make you feel like you want to expand your life, like you want to expand your love, like you want to share your purpose, you want to share who you are. Maybe you don't have that figured out yet, how to do that. And that's great. That's a wonderful place to be because you have a beautiful journey ahead of you. And believe me, with this might help you figure that out. So at the core, love is all we are. And we really want to figure out how to get back to that feeling of feeling good and feeling love in the real kind. So this takes a lot more time than we actually have on this webinar, but I'm going to have you write this down for right now. So this is why I had you get the pen and the paper, is because in everything that I do at the Bliss Project, in the Sexy and 60 Challenge, in the Bliss Habit, if any of you guys took that, we had thousands of women on there. So I'm so grateful to you who took it, because those groups rock my world. The breakthroughs are awesome, and I get to go along for the ride, and I take it every single time too. And that is really huge because every time I do it, I learn something new. Anyway, I'm blabbering. So it takes more time to do this than on this webinar. So I want you to write this down because this is your first homework assignment. Do you like that? How old are you and you're getting homework? It's good. We always need homework. So your first homework assignment in manifesting all you desire, I want you to write down these categories. I'm going to try not to talk too fast. Number 1, I want you to put down spirituality in your first category. And then I want you to put down family, and then body, and mind. And then I want you to write finances. This can also go along with finances. You can put business and career. And then your final is going to be giving back. So I'm going to go through that one more time really quick. So it's spirituality, family, body, mind, finances, business, and giving back. Do you have those? This is totally recorded. I'm going to send this to you. So if you want to do this again, you'll have it. Okay. So what I want you to do after this webinar is done, but this is for you right now. You're going to write down 5 things under each of those individual categories. So under each of the 7 categories, I want you to write down 5 things about them that make you feel good, or when you are doing them, they make you feel good. So for example, spirituality, maybe I would put meditation, church, prayer. Family, I would put movie night, quality time, family games. Body, maybe I would put when I go to yoga class, when I dance, when I go to the gym. Mind, I would put when I read for 5 minutes a day, or when I go and I spend that money on maybe that yoga retreat I want to go to, or I want to go to that self-help, seminar, because I'm all about those. I love them. And finances, maybe it's when you're saving, or maybe when you are, that goes with giving back. So saving, or really becoming aware of your finances, maybe learning about them, maybe hiring somebody to help you with your finances, maybe doing it in trade with somebody that you know is really good with numbers, your business or career. So what is it around that? Maybe you need to look for a new job. Maybe you love your job and you absolutely just want to start doing more, or start appreciating people more at work. Or maybe you need to start appreciating the job that you have so you can be blessed by another job that you love even more, because we know that's how it works. So giving back, maybe it's volunteering, volunteering at your kid's school, whatever it may be, a homeless shelter, whatever that is. So 5 things around each of those that would make you feel good. So don't get overwhelmed, because this is a lot of stuff, okay? And you don't have to do it right now. But here's what I want you to make sure. Make sure that these things range from the littlest and quickest things that you could do all the way to the biggest, most time-consuming things that would make you feel good, and maybe they're goals for you. So out of this, here's the most important part, because this is going to set up your entire foundation for your year. So out of these, I want you to list them, or I want you to list the most important one right now. So what do I mean by that? What's the most important thing on that list if you focused on one thing that would change everything for you? And make sure it's one of the smaller ones, but what would change everything for you? What is the most pressing? Because that's going to become your main focus and your foundational goal. So let's give you an example so you know how to choose that. So an example would be, would you be clear to focus on your family if you started loving your body? So maybe loving your body is your foundational goal, and how to love your body is by maybe going and working out. And how to love your body is by paying attention to what you're eating, paying attention to what you're saying in your head about your body. So if that's a foundational goal because you can't think of anything else, maybe that is your main focus, because maybe that's the first thing on your mind. Maybe that's the biggest thing that's weighing on you. What's the biggest thing weighing on you? Is it your body? Is it your finances? Is it your relationship? You pick that one, that is your main one, and that is your main focus, because that's your foundational goal. That's the thing that would change everything about how you felt and open you up for that next brick in your foundation. So it's about doing that one at a time, because habits are built one at a time. So foundational goal just means that once you have it down, you can build on that, because you no longer need all of that energy and focus to make it a habit. It becomes who you are. So for me, this is a really good example. I focused on my body for a long time because I needed to love myself. I focused on how I talked to myself. I focused on how much I loved myself, what I was saying in my head. I focused on how I felt, because for me, just didn't feel good. I was tired all the time. I knew this as a young kid when I was eating bad food. I was like, why don't I want to go outside and play with everybody? I was so tired and did not feel well that it made me start to focus on that. And now, honestly, I just did my vision board, and I will tell you, it's the first year I didn't even put a body or anything up there. I just put the word like healthy and energetic and happy, because to me, that's already taken care of. It's become a part of who I am. Now I can go focus on all of the other things. So I hope that's a good example for you. So let's build from there and talk about why feeling good is our only job. So if this is a new concept to you, maybe you're like, what the? But it's really going to start making a little bit more sense. So our feelings are the biggest indicators in our life. So if we look at something that doesn't feel good, that's our sign to really examine more into that area, because we're vibrational beings, right? We're vibrational people, and we're always sending out frequencies. So an example that I love that this is going to help make so much sense of is from the book Ask and It's Given. And it talks about how we're literally sending out these frequencies with our thoughts every single day. We're vibrational people. So the more we think a thought, well, it's like radio waves. So if I'm on 87.1, I can't expect to be tuned into 107.5 and get that station if I'm constantly emitting 87.1, right? What am I getting back? I'm getting back everything that is playing on that channel. So even if I wish I was listening to 107, and if you were born in Upper Michigan, you'll know these radio stations. So if I wish I was listening to 107, and that's where all my favorite stuff is, but I'm stuck on 87.1, then I'm never, ever, ever going to get there. I can wish all that I want, but if I'm thinking and thinking and thinking the thoughts of the old radio waves, I'm not going to get anything else, right? So with every thought we think, it attracts another thought with that same vibrational match. So what thoughts are you giving your power to? And what thoughts do you want to give your power to? So this was like my biggest wake up call is I can think, or I can wish all that I want. I can put all over my vision board everything that I want. I could use it as freaking wallpaper. If I wasn't thinking those thoughts and really aligning myself with those thoughts and how it felt. It's more about how you feel, because you really have to think it and feel it in order to match that vibration that you want to attract what you want in. So the thing people get caught up in, what I get caught up in, I'm calling myself out, because I have this like on my phone wallpaper as a mantra, a little tagline about this is the thing people get caught up in is focusing on how they don't want to feel and what they're lacking and what they don't want. So since these are the thoughts you have, guess what perfect matches are coming to meet those if you are thinking thoughts that you don't want. I don't want my relationship to be like this. I don't want to be arguing all the time. I don't want to be heavy. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want these problems anymore. I can't go back to how life was. I can't do that again. It's all really a lack mentality. So when we're thinking those thoughts, what's coming in? All we're hearing is heavy, and all we're hearing is lack, not having money, and that's everything that we are focusing on, because those are the thoughts that are running through our head. So what we want to be focusing on is what we desire instead of what we are lacking. So if you can remember that, every time that comes in, you say, are these thoughts coming from a lack mentality? Am I focusing on what I don't have and what I don't want? Or am I focusing on what I have? Because, when Chris and I truly focus on what we want and where we're going and what we're happy with, now that's a huge one. This is something I forgot to write in my notes, but it is the biggest one, is focusing on what you have. Because it's so funny, it's what my phone case says. It says, when you love what you have everything that you need. Because that is true. And it literally starts to match. You start to just feel so content that all that rolls into your life is more good things. And you're changing your lens of how things are coming at you. So maybe where things used to be negative, when you're truly happy and grateful that you got up, when you're grateful that your body functions and you have the capability of having healthy food in this country, when you are grateful to have family, even though they can drive you crazy, when you're grateful, all of those things, you're in such a good place and you're focusing on such good that you're looking at it through lenses of great things as well. So we're not seeing the negative, because I'll tell you what, the second that we start to get into those negative lenses, it is so easy to see maybe the bad in people. It's so easy to see all that's wrong with the world. It's so easy to walk out the door and get so irritated with people on the street and view them as obstacles instead of viewing them as a blessing that we share this beautiful planet and we get a chance to learn from them. So it's about flipping that all the time. And I'll tell you what, it's a constant job, you guys. It is a nonstop job. I am like a mall cop on 24/7 security in my brain. And I am constantly checking myself always. So as we know, or maybe some of us don't know, as we know, thoughts carry energy and they carry feelings. So every time we think a thought, we feel something, right? It's impossible to think a thought right now without feeling something, relating it back to something. Even when we think the thought blue, we relate it to feeling blue, the color blue, the ocean's blue, that's happy, that's sad, that's it. You think thoughts. So every single thought carries a feeling, and feelings influence our choices, right? Because we make choices off of how we feel. I don't want to do that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, that's going to make me feel good short term, so I'm going to grab that chocolate right now. It's really, really, really focusing on that. And our choices that come from our feelings become our lives. Right? So we are the choices that we made last year. This year, the choices we made last year are showing up. So the choices that we made yesterday might be showing up, or maybe they're showing up later. Or the choices we made this morning, maybe you made amazing choices this morning. Maybe you ate a great breakfast and you worked out and you're still feeling that in your body and it feels good. So our choices become our lives. So this is all great, but habits and patterns are habits and patterns for a reason. So how do we break them, right? Because these things are hard to break. They're ingrained in us, but it doesn't mean that you cannot get them out, because you can absolutely learn until the day we die. We can change the way that we are, because it's how we're built. Actually, it's how our brain is worked. It can literally, it can learn new things up until the day that we die. We can change those neurons. So here are the tools to help you step into your power. Like I said, becoming mindful. So take notes on this if you just want some quick notes to look at maybe once in the morning. Become mindful and check in with your thoughts. This is one that I love. Set a timer on your phone. We do this one in my group. The Sexy and 60 challenge and the Bliss Habit. I think I wrote about this. To set a timer on your phone, maybe in the beginning you need it every half hour, maybe you need it every hour, that says, where are your thoughts at? Just to kind of see where you're at. And when people took this challenge, when I took this challenge, I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking something really negative about my life or myself or that person. So it's just a constant way to check in with where am I at? And what is this thought attracting at this point? And honestly, that thought is probably attracting more negative thoughts. So another thing that you can do, I love this. I was at a Jack Canfield event, and I think Gabby Bernstein was talking about it too, is the rubber band trick. Whenever you think something negative, because we're trying to change our state right away, right? And become aware of what we're doing. When you think something negative, you have a rubber band on your wrist and you snap it. So No, it doesn't feel good if that's what you're wondering. It's not supposed to feel good. It's to remind you, oh, that's negative and relate it to something negative. But I'm not all about brutalizing your body. So if that works for you, own it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Check in with do a nice cell phone check-in. That one's way nicer. So notice your thoughts and forgive them. And this is huge for me, you guys. I'm a spiritual person. Ask God for help, ask his guidance. You know, I love this from Gabby Bernstein is one of my mentors, and she talks a lot about from A Course in Miracles, and so does Marianne Williamson. And I love this phrase because it really, really helps me. I teach this all the time. When I have a fearful thought, or when I have a negative thought, or anything, anything that I don't want in my brain, I say, I recognize this fear-based thought and I choose to see it differently. Please, God, give me the strength and guidance and compassion to see this differently. All I'm doing is taking a minute, putting it in God's hands and saying, please let me see this differently. I need help right now because right now I'm feeling really bad and I need a new perspective on this, because guess what? There always is. There is always a new perspective that we are not considering, right? There's always, we always need to refer to compassion because we are not able to see the whole picture. We don't know why people are reacting a certain way. We don't know how their day is going, and we are sharing a planet. So if we want people to be compassionate with us, we need to be compassionate with them. More love, more love, more love. More love for yourself, more love for other people. It's going to make your day go way smoother, because I will tell you, when I start feeling negative towards people out in the world, or they're in my way, or they're an obstacle, or they're making me late, it is so much energy robbed from you, and you only get so much energy throughout the day. So what do you want the energy spent on? Me and my husband talk about this all the time, and I'm going to totally call him out right now. I think he's upstairs listening. Hi, honey. He's so much better, like amazing now. Used to have an extremely short fuse, and that doesn't leave any room for all the things that you want. So now it's really about choosing your perspective and remembering that, or being compassionate, remembering to be compassionate. And I always try to say, well, maybe where could they be coming from? And now he's helping me when I do the same thing or freak out. And he says, no, honey, do you remember to put on your compassionate lenses? Or something like that, whatever. But it's so true, because it's going to give you so much more energy throughout the day. And we need all the energy we can get, because TV, billboards, people, everything is going to try to rob us of the energy that we have. And we have to keep focusing it in and keep on returning to that feeling of love and feeling good, because every minute things are trying to take that feeling of feeling good. When you don't feel good, I'm going to refer to this again, you're attracting something that's matching that feeling. So your job is to feel good, feel good, feel good. And not only that, guess what feeling good all the time starts to do? It starts to fill in those gaps and makes you start living in the gaps. So instead of me always looking, what's my next? What's the next destination? What's the next thing I'm looking forward to? I wake up and say, I am so excited about today, and I don't even know why. And I promise you, this is like the first year and a half that I have been able to say that. Just, I am so excited about life. And I couldn't even give you a reason why. I'm just happy. And I know that I have the choices to make myself happy again if I get out of that place. So how do we make sure that we can get back to that place and really switch our thoughts? And I want to give you even more tools than what I've already given you to make sure that you can switch your thoughts. Because like I said, habits are hard to break. So how on earth do we break this thinking pattern? Because I know I've had so many people like this, and I have said it myself. I've worked with all of you. I've worked with myself that say, I'm just not a happy person, right? I'm just can't be that happy all the time. I just don't enjoy being happy all the time, right? I hear that a lot because I used to say stuff like that. And now I'm like, what? Why wouldn't you want to be happy all the time? It feels amazing. So how do we do that? How do we get from that place of thinking that it's just ingrained in us, or we were raised this way, or our parents were this way, or this is just genetically how we are, into being a happy person? Well, we need a whole lot of tools in our toolbox. So we're going to do this with mantras and bridge mantras. And so when these fear-based thoughts and when these negative thoughts about whatever it is come into our head, instead of dwelling on them, we are going to insert a mantra. We're going to use that I recognize this fear-based thought and I choose to see this differently. please God or whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in. Give me the strength, give me the Holy Spirit, give me whatever you need, guidance, compassion to see this differently. And then you're going to insert a mantra. So maybe it's about your body. I'm going to use that because it's that time of year and that's what I work with a lot. Maybe you need a mantra around your body. Maybe you're thinking really negatively about your body. Maybe it's, I hate my body. I can't stand how it looks. I hate being out in public. I'm not proud of myself. It makes you not feel confident. It makes you feel like you have to hide who you are. You can't authentically shine. So instead of, all of those negative thoughts, maybe you need a new mantra around it. Like, I love my body. I love what it does for me. And I want to talk a lot about something called a bridge mantra or a climbing mantra or a climbing thought. All basically the same thing. So in my group, we talk about this because some people come up with mantras and they're coming from a really low level energy place in their life. And immediately they come up with a mantra like, I'm sexy and rich and whatever, whatever else. I have a banging body, whatever that might be. I'm sexy, rich. I have a supermodel body. And you can't quite go from 0 to 60. And when you say that, it feels like your body's rejecting it. That's what we want to avoid. So we need a bridging mantra. So something that works really well for people who need this bridge to that is, I'm a perfect work in progress, loving myself and my life more each day. I am a perfect work in progress, loving myself and my life more each day. Maybe you want to insert loving myself, my body, and my life more each day. So try to remember that. It's about climbing. So if you can't quite get to that, maybe manifesting $10 million this year, maybe you just need to start smaller with something that feels really good, because you need to put your thoughts there, but it also needs to feel good. Because like I said, we always just want to be in that state of feeling good, not feeling overwhelmed and like, how in the heck is that going to happen? It should be a stretch, but not so far that you feel bad about it or like it's impossible, because we want to get in that state of feeling good. So the other game-changing tool that I'm going to talk about is envisioning and meditation and creating your power plan. So this can be 5 to 20 minutes a day. It's about planning and running your day before it runs you. So taking 5 minutes a day to envision and feel it is so important. If you're like, what the heck is this going to do for me? Our brain can't tell the difference between reality and what we're thinking when we close our eyes. So a great analogy for this, I was in a Jack Canfield training, and this was awesome because it was just so brilliant because it shows perfectly how this works. So if you close your eyes and you are standing up and you really picture yourself at the edge of a cliff and you inch your toes forward with your eyes closed like you're at the edge of the cliff, and put your tippy toes on the very edge of that cliff and look down and maybe kick or throw a little rock down and just watch it go all the way down, you can actually elevate your heart rate. Maybe you feel your palms get sweaty. You're going to feel those feelings. You're going to start to feel that. So envisioning helps you feel those feelings. It helps start making it real. Your brain is actually a problem-solving machine. Have you ever noticed you go to bed and then you wake up and you get an answer to something? It's because we can put that thought in our head and it goes to work on it. Your brain wants to solve that problem for you. So have you ever heard of the phrase, I'll sleep on it and I'll feel better in the morning? It's going to work for you. So envisioning, when we do that, when we put that thought in our head, your brain is starting to go in that direction without you even knowing it. So a lot of times we have people envision their goals and how they feel. For example, for the Bliss Project, when I get ready, because public speaking still makes me nervous, probably will always make me nervous. But I know that if I envision myself there every day and the topics that I want to go over and how I want you guys to feel and what I want to happen and what shifts I want you guys to leave with, and I really picture going through all of the exercises, going through the day, seeing you doing the yoga, seeing you have these shifts and talk to each other and meeting each other and have these massive breakthroughs. I know that if I've replayed it in my brain enough, that I've already been there, that I am totally set, that no matter what, I could probably go on autopilot and do that event because I've been there so many times and envisioned it that it's become so real to me. I've already been there. So I did that last year, and believe me, when I got nervous, it's just like it just flowed because I had already done it so many times. Same thing with when I decided to do a fitness routine. I'd never done one before. It's a lot of gymnastics. It's a lot of dancing type stuff all over the stage. had no dance background, no gymnastics background. I ended up getting injured about 4 weeks prior to the event. And one of the little secrets that the girls told me was to envision for 20 minutes a day going through the routine. Well, not only did I take 2 weeks off and only had 2 weeks left to prep for it, but I was better when I went back after my injury because I had it so, it was just so there in my head that I could do it in my sleep because I had run through it so many times that I couldn't fail. My brain had worked it out within my body and memorized everything. So it's so powerful. Take 5 minutes in the morning, see yourself looking out through your own eyes. That's even more powerful, to be looking out at your world through your own eyes. See yourself doing whatever it is. Maybe it's running your own business. Maybe it's, being in a really powerful group of women collaborating and doing different projects and speaking. Whatever it is, maybe it's rocking your business and being a leader, or rocking your body, having a great relationship. When you focus on that and you focus on seeing it the way you want to see it, you're setting yourself up for the day to be looking through those lenses instead of popping out of bed like sometimes I have in a super, super foul mood, and seeing everything negatively and attracting really negative thoughts, and just going through my day in a really horrible place. And that's no way to live. I mean, honestly, we have no idea how long we're on this planet. So why spend one day feeling that way? It's really about understanding every day is a blessing and everything is a lesson. I get it. We totally all have challenges, and some are way bigger than others. So I'm not making those smaller. I'm talking about the things in life that we have control over, that we can change right now. So 5 minutes to envision your goals every day. Huge, huge difference. So meditating as well. Maybe some of you don't have a meditation practice. You can actually, since we're running out of time, you can Google even how to meditate, but I'm just going to tell you honestly, meditation is about sitting comfortably. You can do it in a chair. I don't suggest laying down. People always ask me if they can lay down, but you'll probably fall asleep because you'll be nice and relaxed. Meditation is just about trying to clear your thoughts or focus on one thought, especially if you're a beginner to meditating, and just trying to clear all of those thoughts and calm down and feel good and just be in that place for 5 to 10 minutes. And every time a thought comes up, just let a cloud come and take it away. Obviously, a cloud you're imagining, not a real cloud. So just let it come and drift away. So every time a thought comes in, just try to go back to your breath, focusing on your breathing, or maybe a word that you love. Some people say Satnam. Some people focus on the word love. Some people say I am love. That's a really great one. But if you really want to learn more about meditation, we're going to talk a lot about that at my Bliss Project retreat as well, because it's such a huge part of being able to deal with anxiety, with stress, with depression, so many things. It's one of the first things that people, doctors, everybody has people do when they are in that state. So I will tell you, it was one of my biggest things that got me past a lot of my anxiety and a lot of my fears was meditating and just learning how to be present and calm yourself down, learning how to deal with the emotions that are coming up because they get really overwhelming, right? Especially if we haven't been paying attention to our emotions. Maybe we're numbing them out. Maybe we're pushing them down with food or alcohol, or being busy all the time. It's about, some people are scared to meditate because you're sitting alone and all those thoughts come up, maybe thoughts from the past, and they don't feel good. But I'll tell you, they're doing something inside your body if they don't come up. They're festering, they're harboring some really bad feelings that are creating some really negative chemicals in your body. So we want to get rid of all that cortisol, and we want to start facing those things, let them come up. So the more we meditate, it's very uncomfortable in the beginning if you have those issues, which we all do. But just let them come up. You're meant to feel, you're meant to get that out. So instead of numbing things out, it's a way to deal with things, feel things, and be able to sit with yourself and learn to deal with those emotions. So create your plan like an unbreakable appointment. So whatever new goal that you have, that foundational goal, it's about putting it in your planner and living your life like you're a boss, like you are the boss of you. Because I'll tell you, if you are not the boss of you, someone else will be for sure, and you will build their dream. So if you are not the boss of you building your own dream, you're going to be doing someone else's, and it's going to hurt because we were all put on this planet to let that come out, whatever it is. So schedule it like an unbreakable appointment in your calendar, and everything else can fall around it. And it works that way. So less is more, less is more, less is more, you guys. Start small. And until that feels really good and it becomes a habit, maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes a month, maybe for some people it takes a day, maybe it takes a year. But it's a different way of going after your goals than before. It's not the all or nothing attitude. It's the this is going to happen for me attitude. And it's really making it happen because you're adopting it into your life just like everything else has been learned. You don't ride a bike in a day. You don't learn anything in a day. So in the long run, you'll be so far ahead of the game. Remember, all we're really after, this is so important. All we're really after is a feeling, and the feeling that we think these goals are going to bring. So we picture this hot body, right? And oh, my life's going to be awesome. I can go out. I'm going to feel great. All of these things are going to happen when I feel that, or when I get that body. But we're just after a feeling. We want to feel good. We think that body's going to make us feel good. We think it's going to give us attention. We think it's going to get us things, whatever that might be. Or we think that house is going to make us feel good. And we think about entertaining in it, how much fun that will be. So how about just feeling it first in order to attract that, and start doing the things that make us feel that way now? Because if we're constantly living for that destination, we're never going to be living. We're always going to be in that state of anxiety. We're always going to be in that state of lack. We're always going to be in that feeling of need. And those places are not fun, and they are not attracting more good stuff. So this takes time, but soon you're going to be feeling the way you want, even when you're not at your goal. You can love your body. You can love your life. You can love yourself, even when you're not there. And when you love yourself, you attract amazing things and amazing opportunities, and people are drawn to you, and beautiful opportunities to serve in a way that you want to serve are going to be delivered to you. So when you feel how you want to feel all the time, like I said, you enjoy the journey itself, and that's life, right? Because there's no destination. There's no end. And all we have is now. So we want to practice feeling good now, so that we can give as much as we possibly can, because we know that life is only good when shared. Anything good is only good when shared. And we know that we can have all of the stuff in the world and you can still be miserable, because we see that. But when you give back, life is about what you give. And when you feel good, guess what happens? You want to give. You want to be out there sharing your spirit, screaming to the world, sharing yourself, telling them to shine their light, because it is so beautiful, you guys. It is so beautiful. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I can't tell you what it means to me. I am so excited to talk to you. I want to hear your comments. You can go on Facebook. You can write your comments. It's just under Lori Harder or Lori Harder's Busy Girl Healthy Life. If you have not been on there yet, write your comments, write your questions. I will send out this recording, but early bird ends for the Bliss Project tomorrow night. I would love to have you there. It's basically this webinar on steroids from a lot of women who are doing amazing things in their field. So it's going to help you build or rock your business that you want. It is going to help you love your body. It's going to help you love your life. It's going to help you gain massive confidence. And most of all, you're going to be with incredible women who are like-minded. You know, last year we had so many women who have built businesses together and friendships, and now they're coming to the Bliss Project all together. So, you know, like I said at one point during the webinar, is this can get really lonely when you first are trying to go towards more goals, and sometimes people don't understand. So it's important to surround yourself with like-minded people. So if you're looking for your tribe, your power posse of women, this is absolutely where you can find it. So go to theblissproject.info. We have really amazing group rates. So if you buy 4 tickets, you get that, or if you buy 3 tickets, you get that 4th one free. So I know so many women are rallying people up to go. And I wish I could explain how much fun this weekend is, because I know it might be scary and it's so far outside of many people's comfort zones, but that's where all the good stuff is. And I promise you, it is the most loving, welcoming environment. And it's just safe to grow. It's like trying on the woman that you want to be in a safe environment and seeing how good that feels, and being able to take that back with you, and then having this group to support you, and you become a part of the alumni. So I hope to see you there, because it's one of the most fun weekends ever, and you grow so much that you just cannot replace that no matter what you do. So it's well worth it. So the blissproject.info to sign up, rally up your group if you want. And don't forget that we have that Sexy and 60 New Year challenge as well. I run those every 3 months. And the last date to sign for that is on the 15th. And that's all about support and love and workouts, mind, body, soul, book clubs. So fun, so amazing. It's literally the exact workouts that I do 3 times per week. So if that's something that you want to do, you can go to loriharder.com. One last thing, this is really exciting. I have a new website launching. It is loriharder.com, will be completely new and launched. And I have so many goodies for you. It's like everything that I love all in one place, free meditations, free workouts, so many more retreats, lots of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys again for logging on. I'm going to send out this recording. So if you have any loved ones who you know would benefit from this, please share it with them. Because we are all about growth in 2015. And the more people who shine their light, the more beautiful of a place this is going to be. And we can all learn from each other. And let me tell you, we need your gifts because we need to connect. That's how we get our gifts out. So make sure you shine your light super bright. And love you guys. Thank you so much for all your good energy. I can feel it. And have a great night. Bye-bye.